Welcome. In this video, we're going to teach you how to use Apex tutorials. Apex is a program that we're going to be using for the first time today, and we're also going to use it in future classes. When you pull up guided practice today, there's a nice link to get to Apex. You can just follow that link to quickly get there today. Your username, your password will be listed right here on guided practice. The username is just BPS plus your 6-digit student ID. You're going to be asked to change the password once you put in this weird password here today. Please remember to pick a password you will remember. On future days, you'll want to use the backpack to get to Apex tutorials. At the top of your backpack now, there should be a link for math resources for Mr. Doherty's class. And if you select Apex Learning, that should take you to Apex's website. You're going to then follow a link for login right up here. And when you get to the Apex site, your username will be that 6-digit BPS ID. So BPS and then whatever your 6-digit student ID is. You'll type in that password, which you're going to have to go ahead and change today. This is the page you'll get to. You'll want to follow Mathematics 8 Massachusetts. And that's going to pull up a link for the web page that you're going to use or the application for Apex Learning. Now, when you get there, you'll see they break it down to what we're going to call 8 modules. 8 large modules that cover everything for 8th grade math, from the number system to exponents, things we've worked on this year already like functions and linear functions, and some things we'll cover like geometry, Pythagorean theorem, and solving equations. Since we're working on exponents today, we're going to ask that you follow the link for Module 2. We're going to try to work through Module 2 first on Apex, and that's all about exponents. So when I follow the link for exponents, now I'm in the module number 2 for exponents. I would recommend, unless you think you know everything about exponents and scientific notation, that you actually skip the pretest. It's 18 questions, it takes a long time, and unless you really know everything about it, they're not going to let you skip through anything unless the pretest looks like you know all this stuff. We haven't taught you about powers of 10, we haven't taught you about scientific notation. You're just started on exponents, so your best bet today is to skip the pretest so that you can get right down to learning. Now you see within a module we have topics, or what I'm going to call units. The topics or the units are different standards of math that fall within that module, our big module of exponents. So far we've only worked on properties of exponents in class. We're also going to be getting to powers of 10 using an exponent of 10 repeatedly and how that's related to what we'll call scientific notation. You'll want to work through the topics in order from top to bottom, so start with properties of exponents today. Apex has 4 parts. There is the Learn It part that's going to be a bunch of textbook learning, so we're going to go ahead and click through a few of this quickly, where they're going to teach you some of the math about what exponents are. They'll do it in table form, they'll do it in text form, and they'll ask you questions to check for your understanding, where you can test if you understand that 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, for example, would be 4 copies of 3. You can use hints to get help with that if the textbook explanation and the tables and other things were not enough. You actually do not have to go with learning to get started. It's a good idea. You probably don't know a lot about this stuff. It could help you. But if you want, you could get working on Apex right away with trying problems yourself. That's the try it piece. So if I click into try it, rather than textbooks and explanations, they're going to just give me math problems right away. There'll be some hints. They'll tell me if I'm right or wrong, give me an explanation, kind of like 10 marks. And if I find I have no idea about exponents, I can just go back to the web page here that has Get Started, the learning page, and that'll help me out. The third piece is a video where after you learn about math, where you practice it, they're going to wrap some big ideas up. They're going to review it in a video. And the fourth piece is where you test your knowledge, where you actually get this unit completed. If I wanted, I could start with test it right away. So if you think you already know a lot about exponents and you're ready to do the test, feel free to start the 5-question test. If you don't do well on that test, if I get through those 5 questions, let's say I make 5 random guesses. It's going to take too long. But after I go through those 5 questions, if I don't do well on it, guess what? They're just going to send me back to one of the 3 parts of the unit that I've not mastered yet: the video lesson, the practice, or the review textbook.